Let's talk about Sarah Jessica Parker, who claims she don't care that y'all was out here hating on and just like that. Cause yeah, there was apparently a lot of y'all was hate watching. Me honest, I think I told y'all this before. Like I don't even know what happened in this finale. I know friends of mine who actually I didn't even first of all, I didn't even know that the finale was gonna be this past Thursday until I started seeing stories about them talking about the finale. Friends of mine on social media were talking about the finale and saying that they were disappointed in the finale. It felt anticlimactic. I said, well, it pretty much sums up what a lot of y'all was saying about the show. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say I ain't never watched an episode of And Just Like That, because I did watch up to halfway through season 2. It was just so many of those characters, especially Che, was insufferable. But I understood they got rid of Che for season 3, and they were trying to right the ship. And then Michael Patrick King came out and was like, "Oh, it was my decision to cancel the show, like to end the show." I'm like, "Bullshit! I don't believe that it was you. I think HBO Max was probably looking at it like this show is not doing what needs to be done. We need to just end it quietly. We'll let you sit and take the blame if you want to sit and do all of that, so that way that y'all don't get the backlash from the fans." But I'm not buying that Michael Patrick, because if somebody was throwing money at him and y'all can keep a show going and Sarah Jessica Parker can make a coin, whatever the case is trust and believe y'all will still be going along with this show. So over the course of the show's 3 seasons, And Just Like That, fans morphed from diehard Sex and the City lovers to hate watchers who tune in every week just to make fun of Carrie's absurd outfits or Charlotte's lackluster storylines. Did she have the lackluster storylines? Because to be honest, I felt like Charlotte had the most relatable short storyline, especially dealing with a non-binary child, her sex life at her age and things of that nature. The one who was having the most lackluster and absurd storylines, I would say, would be Miranda. Her whole storyline was irritating my entire spirit. The whole thing between her and Che, then she started hunching Rosie O'Donnell in this new season. It was just a whole lot of stuff. And the way she would treat Steve. I'm still mad at her over that. But I hated the way she treated Steve during Sex in the City. But I felt like she was even more of a bitch in this season, in this iteration of the show. So she irritated me. Like, if you feeling your lesbian oats and you want that to kind of mirror her real life situation, because we know she got her little lesbian wife, Rojo Caliente, meaning red hot, because she got the red hair. Um, if you want to go and that be your wife or whatever the case is, like, I understand all that, but you wanted to have her mirror that. If you want to explore your lesbian side, then they should have played more into that. It just felt like a caricature. And then when you have a homosexual for a freaking showrunner, you don't know how to write gays? Like, you a big old yourself. Like, how do you not know how to write gays? But then again, when you're a gay man, it's not the same as being a lesbian. So there's situations, but then hire a lesbian writer to write the lesbian stuff. Or you have Cynthia Nixon consult on some of the lesbian things to make it seem more realistic for the show. But then again, they always try to come up with these ridiculous, obnoxious comedic situations for the women to go through. So that might have gone against what they were intended to do. So with all the hate that she's been getting from the show, basically she said she could care less, or she couldn't care less. But if that's the case, if you couldn't care less, then why are you talking about it? But I guess maybe she's talking about it because she's being asked about it. So she said, quote, "I don't think I have the constitution to have spent a lot of time thinking about that." This is what she told the New York Times in an interview published on Friday, saying, quote, "We have worked incredibly hard to tell stories that were interesting or real. I guess I don't really care." This is what the actress added. And by the way, SJP is 60. And the reason I don't care is because it has been so enormously successful, and the connection it has made with audiences have been very meaningful. That may have been Sex in the City back when it came out in 1998 and ended 6 seasons later, but when we're talking about And Just Like That, no, it was very divisive. And I do feel like it's because the storylines have been unrealistic and ridiculous. It definitely felt like y'all were trying to right the wrongs of the accusations that you were getting from the previous show, which was the lack of diversity. I'm not saying that you need to just plop people of color up in your show, which is what it kind of felt like y'all was doing. I'm not using that W word because I feel like a lot of you clear folks like to use that word in the wrong connotation. So You can have diversity, but it needs to fit within the confines of the story. Don't just plop black and Indian and people and Asian people, whatever the case is, in your story because you want to show that, oh, we're diverse. You should be doing that from the beginning, especially if you have a show taking place in one of the most diverse cities in the world, and that would be New York City. So if you're not going to reflect that even in the background extras, then that's why people side on you. It's kind of like if they decide to and please don't do this, if y'all decide to revive Girls, I hated that show. That was the most I like hated, and hate is a strong word. Could not stand that show. First of all, wasn't nobody trying to look at big back ass Lena Dunham hunching in that show as much as a lot of you Gen Zers was doing when that show was on the air. Now she looked like Blueface. Y'all seen that picture of Blueface lately when they were showing his prison pictures and how he looked like he ate the whole damn cornfield? They must be eating good up in prison because Miss Mamas is a big girl. And I'm talking about Blueface and Lena Dunham. I ain't never like her. But anyway, getting back into this, it's funny how I just gave the Girls stray, but it kind of fits in the confines of this because I feel like Girls in a way was a Gen Z, elder millennial version of Sex in the City, but it was like more Brooklyn hipster rather than posh Midtown Manhattan, uptown girl, that whole vibe. So the HBO reboot, and just like that, premiered in 2023 and featured all of the original cast except Control, which she was smart to not come back. And I feel like when you have the show, Kim not being a part of it, it just felt like something was missing from this core four. And not having Kim there, who was no shade, the standout of all of the women. I think, like, for the most part, especially speaking as a homosexual man, I think a lot of us related to Kim Cattrall more than we related to any of the other characters. Miranda was like this neurotic attorney, so I could get some of her, like, I related to some of her neuroticism. That's not a word, I just made it up. Neuroses. Charlotte irritated me. She was too damn uptight for my own liking, and Carrie was just like the worst of the worst. So I mean, I like an what do you call it? Would you consider an anti-hero or just someone who is like, okay, she's not like if you're gonna be a person, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna do things that's out of order. Look, when she cheated on Aiden, I still can't forgive her over that. So yeah, that still kind of bothers me. And then the way they were treating Aiden in this season, that was another reason why I bailed out of the show. But then they also said, yeah, though it became the network's most watched series, a debut upon release, viewership quickly declined due to the outdated themes and empty attempts to remain culturally relevant. It just didn't feel, like I said, when you were doing a lot of the themes, it didn't feel like it reflected today. How would a woman in her 50s, because Sarah Jessica is 60, she's not available for, what is it? When do you sign up for AARP? 62? Or is it 50? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I'm not that age yet. But yeah, a lot of the stuff was outdated, all other stuff. It just wasn't working. And Kim Cattrall not being a part of the show, that was another reason, like I was saying, it's like people weren't relating to it. It's like if Kim's not on the show, and this is what people have literally said to me, if Kim is not on it, I don't care. I'm not watching it. But then there's some people that just watch because I think it's hate watching, or is it that people were watching the show just hoping that it would get better, and then it just didn't. Even to the point where Bethany Frankel blasted the Sex and the City revival series, labeling it the worst show ever in an unfiltered rant, which she posted on her Instagram on Friday, saying, "This is the worst show ever. Honestly, this is from hero to zero. It's just so forced," the former Real Housewives of New York City star told her followers in a clip. She also wrote across the video, "And just like that, sucks," and wrote "sucks" in all caps. 25 pounds of disaster in a 5-pound bag, and yep, it explodes, she captioned the post, referring to the series finale that featured a clogged toilet. Yeah, there was a whole story I heard about a clogged, shitty toilet, whatever the case is. It's like, whatever. Then the Bethany Ever After alum also criticized the show's fashion and characters. Oh yeah, that was another thing that people were very critical of. And the reason is because Patricia Field was not styling the show. This also tells you something. Now, if Patricia Field declined to come back to do this show, right? Because I think she was doing what's her name? Emily in Paris. But she only came back for Kim Cattrall's cameo. What does that say about the show? If, oh, I'm going to only come back because Kim came in that cameo, I'm going to dress her just for this scene, but I'm in a sequence. Well, it was a scene, cameo. But I'm not going to come back for the series because I'm over there doing Emily in Paris. But I'm only going to come back for you. Says a lot in regards to the show. Silence is deafening. And then she also went on to say everybody's just a weird caricature of themselves and it's just the most bizarre forced show. Adding that she also took issue with the show's, she said the W word, put it in the back and shoot it. Now that's funny. But here's the thing. Like I said, you can be diverse in the stories, but it has to fit within the confines of the story you're trying to say. Don't just shoehorn in a black character. And that's why I hate that I feel like that word woke has been weaponized. Two W's I use, woke and weaponized. And I feel like the word has been weaponized. And y'all using it in the wrong way. Woke to me is being aware of things that's going on if you're a person who has been ostracized or marginalized. That is what being woke is. It's being aware of things that, authoritarian type things when it comes especially to black people, because it is a black term. Just be vigilant, be aware, be woke, stay woke. Now, if you're going to come up with diverse characters, come up with diverse characters, but they have to be able to fit in the confines of what story you're trying to tell. Don't just shoehorn in a black person because you fill in a quota, because you check in a box. And that's what I think is what people are trying to say. But I guess woke is just a straight to the point type of term that I feel like people are using it the wrong way. So if you're going to use the word woke, I really feel like people need to wake up and understand another W, wake up. Well, up is not W, but you know what I'm saying. Wake up and realize when you're using certain words, what the hell they mean. So that's another W. What? So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you agree with Sarah Jessica Parker? I do feel like, in a way, she is a bit out of touch with why the show was a disappointment. And after hearing from friends of mine who love Sex and the City, and I'm a Sex and the City fan, I love Sex. Look, I told you, I'm currently watching the seasons. Like, I started rewatching them on HBO Max. So I love Sex and the City. I'm a big fan of the show. I remember when they shot her big wedding sequence in the Sex and the City movie, literally a block away from my college, where school I went to college at, in the city. So, seeing all of this and stuff, it's just like, it's disappointing. But I really wish that the show would have been better for what it was, but it was just when you're dealing with people that are just out of touch with what's going on and you live in this whole Hollywood bubble, what did you expect? This is why everything doesn't need to be rebooted. So I say all this to say whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.